Hello, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day with us. I am astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn, and like this beautiful day, I have a beautiful guest that hasn't been on in a New York minute, but I'm glad to have her back. Okay. Um, this is, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. Let me do this a second. All right, there we go. Let me just take this off a second. All righty. I'm almost there, folks. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. I enjoy doing this, although, believe it or not, when I first started about close to 300 shows ago, I was very reluctant to doing this. And I have Jackie Jackie Barrios to thank for pushing me to do this, and I also thank you, the viewers, for being supportive. From Melanated Brown, if I don't depend on nobody else, okay, let me tell you this person always, without question, she wants to start the show. It's this person right here. So I always give her props. Melanated Brown, that's how she starts the show. She does this without fail. She can spoil a person. So I do thank her for that. And also Carol and Stephen Williams out of Chicago, and all of you. One day I'm going to just make a little list so I don't leave nobody out, and thank all of you. Before I do, though, before I start the show, let me tell you that there are sponsors to the show. One of them is Jazz Aphrodite. Her book is now out, folks. Okay. She will be on Monday, the 15th of this month of April, to talk about the book. And 5 days later, she's going to be getting her numerology master class. She is a master teacher, so she's one of the best, and I mean that. And I thank her very much for sponsoring the show. And then I would be remiss without thanking my brother King Simon, who has an event coming up on Saturday the 13th and Sunday the 14th. I will be there doing this 2-day. No, I'll be out of. I won't be there for Saturday, but I'll definitely be there for Sunday. And in fact, they are going to be on the show. I don't know which of these guests, but he's going to have several of these guests on April the 10th, leading up to the event. And also Miss Manifest on Purpose. In fact, the entire forecast for all the zodiac signs you can now hear on our Manifest on Purpose show. And that's KIMBALEY_. So if you go to YouTube, and you can either put in the 2024 forecast for April, or put in Kimberly, KIMBALEY_. And before I bring on my beautiful guest, let you know that I first of all, I do not DM you for money, whether it's Live with Lloyd or Lloyd Strayhorn. I just don't do that. So if you get somebody saying you need a reading, that's not me. I don't roll like that. But this is Wednesday, the 3rd of April of 2024. The sun is in Aries. The moon is in Aquarius. It's a 3 universal month, a 4 universal week, a 6 universal day. So for those that are Tauruses or Libra, or born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th, well, this should be an interesting day for you. And so without further ado, I have not talked to this sister in a new. How you doing, Cali? Hold on.
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. And your little man is growing. He is
Yes,
growing. The
yes,
last
he's
time
growing.
he was like really small.
Yeah,
First of all,
yeah.
how you been? Where you been? What you been up to?
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you sharing time and space with me. I'm very fortunate to
I
be
like
here.
Virgos. Virgos I love. I love my Virgos, okay?
Yes, absolutely. So as of lately, I've kind of been in a hermit mode, if you will, and just going through a little bit of rebranding. It's amazing how you have to, warn your supporters and your viewers at the beginning of every show that that there are people that are using our likeness in order to gain financial things, and I was having a really hard time with that, and so I decided to go through like sort of a rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
and just really take time to understand exactly how I wanted to, provide services to people and make them feel safe and confident in who I was and the services that I provide and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted to take some time to study and learn more. And I actually downloaded two of your courses, and I've been taking those. But it's like,
Yay, thank you.
yes, absolutely. No, that thank you, because the information, like as soon as I really started to pay attention, because it's one thing to read about numerology and learn it. It's another thing to apply it to life, astrology as well.
Mm-hmm.
So as of late, I've really just been trying to apply these principles. Yes, sir. Oh, all right, here you go. He's getting the cars ready. He's warming the cars up
Oh yeah, yeah.
with his good energy,
It's a guy
and
thing. It's a guy thing. Don't
yeah.
worry about it.
He's trying to make sure that I'm ready for the broadcast. Yeah, so I've definitely just really been in hermit mode and trying to understand, what made me unique. And in my time, I really was doing a lot of research, and because of that, today I really wanted to spend a lot of time expressing to people some of the things that I've learned, not just from you, but just from other teachers and other, works of art, because that's exactly what astrology, numerology, all the metaphysical sciences, they're literally art.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of things happening right now astrologically that might have some people worried. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the Mercury retrograde.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So it's so funny because, well, I'm a Virgo, and
Mm-hmm.
so Mercury is my ruler.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, I noticed that I was having the hardest time during retrogrades, Mercury retrogrades, and I was trying to understand why that was. And even my husband, he's a Gemini. Yes, sir.
Which is also ruled by Mercury.
Which is also ruled by Mercury. So I would notice around Mercury retrograde that there would be some differences in his behaviors and his attitude and things like that. And I really wanted to understand why. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just doing different journaling and doing different research, I realized that the reason why I was having a hard time doing Mercury retrograde is because I was off balance. I was imbalanced. I wasn't really preparing myself for the energy that the Mercury retrograde brings. And I think that's the problem, that we're not prepared. We're not
Mm-hmm.
prepared for them. And it's like we can't just get ready. We can't look at the calendar and say, oh, Mercury retrograde is coming up. So, let me get my crystals, let me get my tea, let me get my, we have to make it a routine. It has to be a part of our routine already. And then so when it happens, it's almost like we don't even recognize it. And then we also have to understand that even though there are some negative things that can happen with Mercury retrograde, there are also some positive things that can happen. Like, for example, everybody's rent is due right now, right?
Yeah.
And most management companies are using online portals for you to pay your rent. So guess what? If you're short and a little glitch in the system happens that is connected to Mercury retrograde, glitches and things like that, that's something that
You have no control over.
it worked in your favor. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I think it's very important that we talk about that, and that's another thing that I really wanted to do. As I provided services for people,
Mm-hmm.
readings are supposed to be transformational. You're supposed to be able to go to somebody and get information and really learn how to. Are you okay? You want to sit down? You want to sit down? And you're supposed to get information from people and really learn how to fix things that you maybe were having some. It's okay, you're fine. And maybe fix some things that. What is it? Okay, let me fix your pants. Okay, and maybe fix some things that you're going through. So
Mm-hmm.
usually, with my sessions, I'll have the session, I have follow-ups, and I also will send recommendations, some things that people can do to to get things in order. And I really noticed that in the sessions, really when Mercury retrograde started, people were having a lot of different issues. One with platforms like Instagram having problems and
In
just
fact, it
different
was
things.
shut down for a couple hours last week.
Yes, 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 yes. And I tried to tell people that the best thing. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay, great. The best thing for them to do is to learn that when. Okay. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay, great. I'm okay too. Thank you for asking.
He's
The
looking
best.
out for his mama, and that's all.
Yeah. The best thing to do when things like that happen is to not panic. And you have to remember what's going on like outside, right? So outside is the spring. And the earth knows that we're spending a lot of time inside and we're spending a lot of time on social media. Well, may turn the light back. And we're spending a lot of time on social media. And don't do it again. And we're spending a lot of time in, just in solitude, not really connecting with each other on these devices, on these social media platforms, and we're not outside enjoying the spring. We're not taking advantage of the spring. And so, yeah, Instagram went down, but a lot of people, they just panicked and they didn't say, okay, well, let me take a minute, let me go outside and smell the roses. Let me go outside and listen to the birds. Let me go outside and feel some nice air. So I really want to recommend to everyone listening right now with Mercury retrograde, even if Mercury is not the ruling planet of your zodiac sign, you still want to make sure that you understand that yes, technically things that may not you may not want to happen may happen, but they may work in your favor. Even miscommunications can actually align you in different, just with different opportunities and put you in different places at different times. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about, the eclipse that's going to happen on the 8th. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay, great. The eclipse that's going to happen on the 8th, I view eclipses as like spiritual highways. Because if you think about it, during an eclipse, the moon, the earth, and the sun are all aligned in a way that they aren't usually aligned. Otherwise, we would have eclipses all the time, right?
That's true. True.
So I always look at it as an opportunity to have access mentally, spiritually, have access to different dimensions or different types of information or different forms of information that you might not have during other times of the year. So in my opinion, solar eclipses are a great time to make partnerships or to reconcile relationships, because people transform. It's also a great time to explore different options, like explore different places to go, explore different places to do your work, to explore different ways to work. Solar eclipses are a great time, and so are retrogrades, because most of the time retrogrades and solar eclipses bring up things that we're suppressing. They bring up things that we're suppressing.
Yeah.
Say again, I'm sorry.
No, I said that's an interesting way of looking at it, and it sounds right too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's a lot of where people's fears come from, because we go through things and we suppress them and we don't really, deal with them. And then when they come back up, it's like, okay, like I have to figure out how to deal with this. And sometimes it's not always during the best time or time when we feel, comfortable. But I challenge everyone to take advantage of these times and just look at it as a time of, are you okay? Okay, great. And look at it as a time of transformation, a time of learning, a time of connecting, all of these different things. And just to put yourself in a more positive attitude and just understand that if your rituals throughout the rest of the time of the year, are you okay? Yeah. Okay, great. If your rituals are fine throughout the rest of the year, then when these things start to happen, yes, some things might come up, but guess what? You're going to know what to do. You're already going to have a routine, and you're already going to have like a plan of achievement is what I like to call it. You already know what days you need to kind of slow down, what days you maybe need to fast, what days you maybe need to, really just rest. And
Hmm.
I think we really take that for granted, how much we need to rest. And another thing with the eclipse and the retrograde, all of these things happened right. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay, great. All of these things happened right after Ramadan, Easter, and the season of Lent.
You know, that is true because Easter, there's still, in fact, Ramadan ends on the 8th,
That's
the day
right.
of the eclipse.
That's right. And I always have thought that there were, connections and different similarities amongst different religions and philosophies. And during my studies, I have, they just align so well. And I even was explaining to some of my clients that, Ramadan, Easter, and the season of Lent are all spring equinox celebrations.
Hmm. Hmm.
They all occur at the beginning of spring. And yes. Oh, okay. And okay. And we think astrology and the metaphysical sciences are separate from religions, when reality, I believe that things like numerology, astrology, things like that are the base, of these religions. And that's why, like I said, Ramadan, the season of Lent, and as well as Easter are all spring equinox celebrations. We just don't know that, because
Hmm.
we think
Hmm.
that we're all different and we don't have any similarities. Yes. Okay. Yes. So this is a very magical time that we're in right now. And as far as the solar eclipse, I really, are you okay? Yeah. Okay. Since the solar eclipse is in the sign of Aries, I think it's going to be a really, really important time for us to take some time. Yes. To take some time and to maybe, like, if they're not participating in Ramadan, or if they didn't participate in Easter, or if they didn't participate in the season of Lent, then this solar eclipse is a great time for people to do that, to celebrate the spring. Even if you think about it, Easter, yes. Easter, when we think of Easter, we think of candy and bright colors and bunny rabbits, and a lot of people don't realize that the rabbit is just a symbol for fertility, because we've all heard the saying, uh, doing things that rabbits do, or
Or
doing
the
things
rat, or
like
they'll say
that.
the rabbit died. You know what that means.
Yeah, that's right. So, so I think that it's very important that we understand these celebrations and learn how to associate them with things that are going on astrologically, and understanding that it's deeper than just, celebrating in a way of, like, getting dressed up and things like that. It literally, it's synchronizing all of us from different walks of life, and we're all just trying to appreciate nature and to give thanks to nature and to our creator, and to understand what's going on, in our time and space. So
Hmm.
I really wanted to speak on that, because I've seen so much, different information on social media and just talking to people, and people are really afraid right now. And
Yeah, I noticed that too. Because one person asked me in an interview, "Should one be afraid?" And I said, "No, one should be aware. That's all it is.
yes,
It's just being aware. There's a big difference."
absolutely, yes, being aware, and just um being aware that that's the best thing you can do as a human being, is being aware. And I think that's something that we have kind of lost track of, especially because we have so many different distractions,
Hmm.
and so many things going on. It's hard for us to stay aware and stay connected to the earth and stay connected to the universe. And because we worried about rent, so we don't think like, oh, let me go sit outside and listen to the birds, and
Yeah,
listen to
yeah.
what the
And
birds
we
have to
trying to
say.
figure out how to meet the next bill or obligation, and
That's
always
right.
under pressure. So when you're under pressure, it's hard for you to kind of think clearly. Like, I need to enjoy nature or be outdoors or anything like that. Is how I'm going to do this. Food is a fortune, things like that. So those are really distractions.
They are. They are. And then now with just different things in politics and stuff happening, I believe that that's happening this year because this is really a year of truth and things coming to surface, but not just in a political or material or physical state, but yes.
Would that be things in general overall for the most part?
I'm sorry.
Would that mean things in general for the most part that things are coming to the surface, not just
Yes.
politics, but everything, world events, things that
Yes.
are going on?
Yes. Yes, things are coming to the surface. Like, for an example, I saw some things on social media about some. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Some early depictions of Jesus being uncovered and he was black in the pictures. I don't know. Have you heard that story?
No, but they supposedly there was a thing I saw recently of Putin in Russia where they said he had hidden a black Jesus. You
Yes.
know that
Yes.
Pope plays to the Black Madonna every morning. I know that much.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so I think it's not just a time of truth for, like I said, not just politics and not just, on the physical, in the physical realm, but in the spiritual as well. Like, people need to know what the early depictions of different spiritual leaders, they need to know that, because
hmm
that's a part of the story and it helps people connect better with just everyone. You know what I mean? And it's just something that I think is going to happen a lot more, especially in this year of 8, this 2024 year.
hmm
And I think we're going to really have to start coming together. That I think that's the biggest thing that 2024 is going to do. And I think that's why we're all kind of having a problem with inflammation and things like that, because we're gonna see, like, okay, you know what, we're separated, and now we all just need to come together. We need to figure out how to come together and share our resources. And I think because of that, that's why during these retrogrades and during these eclipses, people are experiencing different family traumas resurfacing, or understanding how their ego played a part in a lot of destruction of their relationships, which is something that I personally went through. Like, just understanding that in my past, how my ego was larger than my intuition.
hmm hmm
Okay. My ego was larger than my intuition, and it blocked a lot of blessings for me. And it put me in a lot of rooms where I didn't have no business being. You
Yeah, it
know what I
happens
mean?
sometimes. It happens sometimes.
But your ego will do that. Your ego will
hmm
do that. And when
hmm
you learn to, put your ego to the side, and when you learn to really, like, live in your truth and live in your individuality and live in your uniqueness, there's this abundance that comes that is beyond just money. It's an abundance in life, because you can have a lot of money and not have any peace. You can have a lot of money and not have any happiness, or you can have a lot of money and not have good health. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you're not here to spend it, and then your kids spend it in Vegas in a weekend. Everything that
yeah.
you worked
Run
your
through it
whole
like
life
nothing
for,
ever happened. All those generations you worked for, like nothing ever happened.
like nothing ever happened. Yes. So, yes, I really wanted to express the importance of that. And another thing that I think is very important, that we're gonna have to, as a people, but especially Black and Brown people, um, the children that are being born into the world right now, and I believe they started right after the like in 2020, 2021, the kids that
hmm
were born in that space and are continued to be born, I believe them to be what is known as indigo children.
I heard of that. Indigo,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, these are indigo children, and these are children that are going to basically change the world as we know it.
hmm
Okay, they're going to change the world as we know it. And that's why you see so many people really learning the sciences and really being interested in spirituality and all these things. And we're going to teach it to our children. And so we're going to raise up a generation of children who are very spiritually conscious, which is not, you would think that that's something that all children have, but all children do not have that. It's destroyed sometimes by different traumas, or too much television, or not having a connection to their family or their parents, because their parents feel like they have to always provide, and so they put providing over their child's priority. But you also have to invest in your child's development, and nobody can really do that except for you. So I also wanted to tell people that if they have children that are being born, or even grandchildren that are really young, that now is the time to really educate them and to really teach them about the true history, because now we're seeing a lot of that coming out, right? That we're seeing that what we believe to be history is not necessarily really true accounts. It's just accounts of other people. So it's very important that we're teaching our children this information, and we're allowing them to use technology, with limits, but we're allowing them to use technology. We're allowing them to be free and to interact, and, being patient with them, developing patience. That's another thing that's very important, and a reason why we have problems. Is everything okay? Yeah. Okay. That's another reason why we have problems during retrogrades and, during eclipses and all of that, is because we have kind of lost our, are you okay? Yeah. Okay, great. We have kind of lost our ability to be patient, because everything comes so fast. Everything happens so fast. Yes. It's okay. Are you okay? You okay? Everything happens so fast now, and everything that we want. Are you okay? What's wrong? Are you gonna say hi? Everything that we want, or that we desire on a physical level, we can get it right away. We can get them right. We can get things right away. And so in our mind, I think that we think that that's exactly how life works, like in its entirety, and that couldn't be anything further from the truth.
True. Very true. Very true.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely wanted to share that with your audience, and to let people know to not have fear. And if they're stuck, and they're not sure about what they should do, then they should seek spiritual advisement, and they should always, yes, always work on becoming better. Yes. Always work on becoming better, because you can always get better. You can always get better.
Sure. There's always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
Always. Now, let me say this. I am very, very proud of the way you handled Junior. You just let him be himself.
Yes.
How old is he? He's just two or three, right?
I'm sorry?
He's about 2 or 3 years old. That's it.
Yes. He just turned 3 in March.
Yes.
So there's a funny thing about my son, and I hope you allow me to share this story.
Please do.
So my son's name, I named him after the civil rights leader Stokely Carmichael. When he changed his name to Kwame. Yeah. So I named him after him, and his name, actually, the name Kwame is given to boys that are born on Saturday. And I had picked this name years before he was born, years before I had even met his father, and he actually ended up being born on a Saturday.
Interesting.
He actually ended up being born on a Saturday, and not only was he born on a Saturday, but he was born on the Independence Day of Ghana.
Whoa, Ghana set the whole stage of everything that happened throughout Africa.
Absolutely. And his energy, he has a very strong, very confident, very outgoing, very magnetic, and I just really try my best not to do anything to suppress that.
Why should you?
It
should be organic. Question though, is it the Pisces side of March or the Aries side of March?
The March, the Pisces side.
Uh-huh. Okay,
Yes.
good. Okay.
Yes. So he's very much a Pisces and a six. He's very much that.
What, the
So
6th or
and
the
then
15th?
say that again.
The 6th or the 15th?
The sixth.
The 6th. Okay. Good.
Yes. 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 Yeah, he is that. And so, but that's another thing that I said, like, about learning numerology and astrology, because if I didn't know numerology, I wouldn't understand how to handle him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't understand what his destiny, and even understanding what was happening in the world when he was born, or the anniversary of things that were happening when he was born. A lot of that has to do with who we are as people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't realize that. And sometimes that's another reason why I offer birth chart analysis in my readings, is because we have to remember. Sometimes we forget, what our destiny here is on earth. We forget why we're here, and we forget what we're supposed to be doing. We get off track. And when you do things like birth chart analysis, it really just puts you back in alignment, and it helps you understand, like, okay, I'm connected to this planet. I'm connected to this time of the year. I'm connected to this number. I'm connected to all these different things. And it also helps with compatibility. Like, a lot of times we have problems in our relationships because we're not astrologically aligned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're not numerically aligned. And, like, don't get me wrong, there are some divine interventions that happen, and sometimes things do work out for, that may not seem like they're not supposed to, but sometimes they do. And you have to account for divine intervention as well. And that's why you also have to rely on your intuition, which a lot of us are very distracted, and we don't trust our own intuition. We hear these voices in our heads, and we think that we're crazy, and we don't understand that we have ancestors. We don't understand that we have different entities around us that are aiding in our journey here. We don't understand that, that our creation is divine, even if our parents didn't really know what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God knew what he was doing. And
Mm-hmm.
birth in itself, and becoming pregnant, and conception, is so miraculous, and it's so divine. But if you don't understand birth, and you don't understand the timing of birth, and you don't understand what goes into giving birth or creating a child, then it's easy for you to walk around and just feel like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm a Virgo, but I'm just a Virgo. I don't really
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, it's time for us to really become aware and conscious, and to understand, what we are supposed to be providing to the world. Because another thing that's happening is that a lot of different empires are falling.
Yes, they are.
A lot of different empires are falling, and there's going to have to be some empires to rise up.
Yeah, well, there's always that yin and yang. That's how that goes.
Absolutely. There can be no birth without death. There can be no construction without destruction.
You know what I realized when you say that? A lot of men, I don't think, realize, or fathers to be realize, that the closest when a woman gives birth, that is the closest to death they are at that
Absolutely.
point. Because I
Yes.
have clients who actually their mothers actually transitioned giving birth to them. So
Hmm.
I think that if we understood that, we could appreciate the role of the woman more, not just having babies, but the complexities, the delicate dance you have to do between life and death at that time of birth. It's just, well, I've saw all my kids born, so I know. So I
No.
honor women. Y'all don't have no problems at the brother, okay? Because we're not gonna get up in those stirrups, okay? We're gonna let y'all get up in those stirrups, but we're not gonna get up in those stirrups, okay? So
Absolutely.
so
Yes. And
see.
yes, yes, absolutely. You're right. And I think that's another thing that's gonna have to happen, is that all of us, a lot of the younger women, ages about, I'll say maybe like 21 to maybe about um like maybe early 40s, late 30s, we all had kind of came along in that era of the independent woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go to school and you get your car and you get your house and you get your credit score up and da 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 da. And I think now we've all kind of gotten to a point of loneliness. Well, not all of us. Some of us are married and some of us have families. So I don't want to, make it seem like we all just out here,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But
Understood. Understood.
yes, but a lot of us are in a heavy, heavy masculine energy, and we're not really allowing ourselves to be in a feminine energy and to be receptive and to be intuitive and to be nurturing. And I think that's also something that we're going to see change in the dynamic of a lot of relationships, is that women are going to have to really, and I think what will take for me personally, what allowed me to reposition my thinking and to put me in a more feminine space, I had to go through an ego death. Okay.
Interesting. What do
Yeah,
you
now
mean? What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
What do you mean when you said you had to go through an ego death? I mean,
I
I think I know what you're saying, but to
huh?
get some clarity,
So I basically had to, I don't want to, because I think it's
if it's
different for,
personal, we can, you know.
no, 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 because I don't have any, I don't have a problem sharing my testimony, because I think it's, meant to help people. But the thing about me is I think that everyone's ego death is gonna look different. Everybody's ego death is gonna be different. Everybody's ego is different. Kwame, okay, we'll take it over there. Everybody's ego is different. For me personally, I was put in a situation where I basically had to experience my karma. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
was I was never like. Are you okay? I was never intentionally a bad person, but I did make some bad decisions unknowingly, not knowing that they were bad decisions, and it created a negative karma for me.
Hmm.
It
Interesting.
created a negative karma, and I had to really go through the negative karma. And instead of being over emotional and instead of being egotistic, I just stepped back and was like, okay, how have I really been living? What kind of decisions have I really been making? Were they for me? Were they for the benefit of others? Were they for the benefit of just myself? How was I making decisions? And I think that's another thing that we really have to think about. The decisions that we make, even if we don't intentionally make bad decisions, we can still make decisions that hurt people, and then that creates something very negative. And if you're super egotistic, you're not understanding that your decisions don't just affect you.
Yeah, they have a ripple effect.
They have a ripple effect. Yeah, so I had to experience some of my negative karma, and when I experienced that, that's what killed my ego. Me just basically having to lay down in the bed that I had created for myself. But everybody doesn't go through an ego death with that. Some people, it takes, more traumatic things like a loss of a loved one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That can cause ego deaths, or a loss of a child, miscarriage or stillbirth. That can cause ego deaths.
Mm-hmm.
As well as like losing possessions, foreclosures, repossessions, that can cause ego deaths. Also, you know, having to transform your life, like maybe your eating habits, and in any type of transformation, any type of change that can happen within the human experience, all of those things can cause ego deaths. But some people just have to go through more things than others before they get it, before they understand, like, oh, okay, so I'm doing this to myself. This is not,
Mm-hmm.
this is not just happening to me, or this is not a negative, entity just following me around, making things happen. This is literally something that I've created. So I think it's really important that people learn, if they're living in their ego, because everybody doesn't live in their ego, but most people are. And when you allow your ego to die, and when you allow yourself to be led by your intuition and not led by your ego, then you just live a totally different life. You have a totally different life. You attract different kinds of people. You're presented
That
with
makes
different
sense. Yeah,
opportunities.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about you. And that's another thing don't turn it off, baby. That's another thing I really try to express to people during our sessions is that you have more control over the things that happen in your life than you think you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, your rent can be late, but you can choose to be optimistic. Yeah, your car is squeaking, your brake, you can hear your brakes, but you can choose to be optimistic about that and say, you know what, I'll just have to fix them when I can, or maybe I should, park the car and take the bus today.
Yeah,
Maybe,
or drive less, or whatever.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you would be surprised how just being optimistic and not allowing yourself to make decisions just based on your ego, how that can change your life and really put you in a space that is, destined for you and not necessarily something that, you thought your life. A lot of people are living a way that they think they're supposed to live. You
Now
know,
that you've gone through this transformation, how do you feel? You
oh
feel
my God, I
better,
feel great.
liberated,
I
whatever?
feel, yes, I feel great. I feel great. And that was another reason why, are you okay? That was another reason why I wasn't going to be able to do readings tonight for multiple people. I do want to do a reading at the end for the collective.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've gotten so intuitive, and my intuition has gotten so strong that if I read multiple people like in one setting, I become confused and I become tired. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay, great. I become confused and I become tired and I become overwhelmed and I become anxious. And there was a time where it wasn't like that. There was a time where, I knew tarot and
Uh, I don't know whether we have been taken off the screen. I don't know whether little Kwame has helped his mother exit early, but in the meantime, until she comes back, I will take a few sessions of. First of all, let me go back. Okay, there she is.
retrograde is retrograding. It's okay. We're gonna keep it going. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely there was a time that I could read multiple people in multiple settings, but that's just when I was using tarot on the surface. And it's like, okay, I know what this card means, so I'm just gonna tell you what this card means. And I didn't really have to feel anything, like, or if I did feel something, I would be afraid to express it because I didn't want to scare people and I didn't want people to be afraid to come to me, and I wanted to make people feel good. And then I learned that, you have to just tell the truth, even if people don't want to hear it, because that's what they need to transform themselves. And that's really what the transition and the transformation taught me was, if I want to transform and help people, I have to transform myself. I have to transform myself, and I have to transform my life, and I have to transform my mindset. And when I did all those things, I realized that the way I was servicing people, it wasn't servicing them to the best of my ability. But I didn't really know my abilities. I didn't know that, okay, yeah, I could pull a tarot card and the tarot card could come up and I can know what the tarot card means. Bless you. But that I can also have a message from the divine, and I can also get a message from my intuition that might say something different that is not in the tarot system. But you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself to be able to say, like, okay, so the card means this, but let me tell you what I think it means.
Mm-hmm.
And
Put
just
your personal
allowing.
expression on it.
Absolutely. Yes. So the transformation is great. I've had a really great time with, servicing people. Yes. I've had to kind of set limitations for myself because, like I said, now providing readings for people. Yes, love. Oh, okay. Providing services for people is yes. Providing services for people is very, it's hard work. Like, what you do is hard work. what you do is hard work, providing information for people all the time, and providing platforms for people like me to be able to come and share their gifts and share their talents, and just being a person who's always sharing and always giving. Like, that's a really, really, really hard place to be, because you're basically, you're giving. Not to say that you don't receive things in return, but you're not really doing it for that. You're giving to give. You
Well,
know what I mean?
this lady Shauna E says we have to leave fear behind. 2020 pushed most of us into self. We have to know from that event that we are protected.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, 2020 definitely put us in a situation of disconnection amongst each other.
Yeah.
Um, and that's
I
another
wasn't
thing.
supposed to stand close to you, And
Yeah,
on the first Thanksgiving, Fauci said you can't even hug your mother. Well,
that's
that really
right.
don't work that way in the black community. That's like me going to see my mother and she gonna say, "What? Are you serious?"
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And then that's another reason why I started offering in-person services to people that are here, like in Atlanta, locally, because I really feel like we're used to talking to each other through these devices, but we're not speaking to each other face to face anymore.
I know we're detached.
We're detached.
I would do want to thank V Wright for her contribution. Thank you so much. There's some people that have made contribution. I want to make sure we get to them too.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
this is unique. Lexi Gonzalez. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She is a Virgo like you. August.
Oh wow, yeah, that's amazing.
She's on the August side of Virgo, where
Mhm.
you are on the September side of Virgo. She's born at 7:11 a.m. She believes.
Wow.
So that means her house, her son is probably sitting in the actually in the 12th house, the house of Pisces. That's where her son
Mm.
is probably sitting at. Okay.
Oh,
Let
that's
me just
interesting.
do this because I don't get to look at all of these until after the program, so I don't want to leave anybody out. But I tell you this, I forgot the sister that's doing. She's a filmmaker. This is her birthday. I'll
Mm.
think of it in a moment.
Okay.
She did the piece on the 13th Amendment, how it
Mhm.
was used to incarcerate black men. But that was somebody will send me her name in a second. But that's her birthday. Let me see this unique. Let's see. I will say this. Let me see. Her birthday would be the 6, 5, and 9, and she'll find that Fridays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays are her best days. She happens to be in a 4 personal year, which means a year to kind of really get some order in her life.
Mhm.
Let me say one more thing here. Okay, V, right? She didn't give a birthday, but thanks so much, V. And but these are nice. These are nice.
Absolutely.
This person, V, right? She's one good. There's her birthday. She's born February the 18th. She says, which is a Mercury day. So how does that affect me? Uh,
Mm.
How would that? What do you think that would mean if she's born? And when she says she's born on a Mercury day, that means Wednesday, because Wednesday is the only day that's governed by the planet Mercury.
Right.
So
Right.
I would assume that's it. But I know this: she's born in the year of the 5 because 1958 adds to 23, and 2 plus 3 is 5.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's also a Mercury influence. So
Mhm.
and her birthday suggests she tends to attract men in uniform at least some point. So if she dated law enforcement, military, something of that nature, but her numbers are always the 9, 4, and 1. Let me see. Brother Brandon, thank you so much for the donation too. Much appreciated. And this is Brandon here. He says, Peace, he didn't give his birthday. Um, but he says his sun is in Scorpio, his moon Aries moon and rising. So that
Mm.
means he's water and fire.
Mm.
Be a contradiction and stuff like that. But his birth path is a master number 22. Now, let me ask you this.
Yes,
The
sir.
last time I talked to you, you were using cards. Is there a different modality that you would use on occasions? Because I see we're about 10 minutes before the show, but so since you're going to do a collective reading, we're going to do that. Have you used a other method, or you still use cards in addition to something else like prayer or meditation or
So
that
yes,
nature?
I do use other things. But my son actually pulled some cards for the collective. Um, so I
Thanks,
wanted to share.
Kwame.
Yes, thank you, Kwame. But he is he because he's born in the sign of Pisces, he's naturally very intuitive. That's another reason why I don't mind having him present, while I'm giving services or while I'm making appearances, because he's just a very divine being. But as far as for the collective, and if people want more information or they want an in-depth anything, they can contact me and just let me know that they saw me on your show, and I'll provide them with a sort of
And the
like
bell is running there at the bottom. Also,
yes.
make sure you Zelle. And if you don't send her nothing else, you send something to Kwame, because
Right.
Kwame's
Yes.
been assisting all evening. So later for her, but Cali, y'all send something a
Yes.
little Kwame, okay, to get that brother
Absolutely.
started. Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah. So for the collective, based on the cards that I have in front of me, I believe that we're going into a time where loyalty is going to be very, very important. We're gonna have to learn to be loyal to the people that we love. We're gonna have to learn to be, loyal to ourselves, and we're gonna have to be loyal to our creator. Now, when I say loyal to our creator, I don't mean that you have to go and join any type of religious organization or cult or, anything like that. You don't have to get initiated into anything, but you do want to learn how to connect with who you believe is the creator in a way that you believe is best for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have to really, really learn that loyalty provides certain things, and it provides certain opportunities, and it provides certain blessings that are just, very, very just enjoyable. We also pulled a card to represent life.
Can you show these cards so people
Mhm,
can see them too?
absolutely. So this is actually a deck by and it's called an Afro Goddess deck. That's another thing I want to say to all the spiritual workers out there, that tarot readers and things like that. Get some cards that look like you. I'm gonna leave that
That's
there.
all you saying. That's all I'm saying. I know you.
That's what we gonna say.
That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
So yes, I'm almost done, love. So this
So
card
those are two of the cards that Kwame pulled.
yes, he pulled them.
Ah, interesting.
Yes, yes, he pulled those cards. But yeah, so this is the card that yes, you want to hold them up? Okay,
Go.
okay. Thank you. So this card is a card of loyalty, okay, and it also represents peace coming from loyalty. That's why we have all the blue. She's dressed in blue. And then this card, the life card, or also represented by a tree,
I like
just
that
represents.
card.
I like it too. It's one of my favorite cards. It represents just abundance and growth and transformation, because trees go through many, many different transformations, as we see in the fall and winter, and in the spring. The tree goes through a lot of different transformations. And then the numbers that we have on these cards, because they have numbers. The dog card, the loyalty card, has 18, which equals a 9. All right, which is next year. That's next year's energy, will be in the
Yeah.
year of the 9.
Yep.
So a lot of times when I pull cards and numbers like that come up, I'll tell people, like, what we do in this year. If we take heed to this card in the year of the 9, that's when we will reap the benefits. Yes. Okay. I'll tell them. Thank you. And then we also have we also have a 5, which from the comments that I saw, we had a lot of 5 energy in the building tonight. So and when numbers like that come up, I always tell people. And then what's today? Today's the 3rd. Okay, yes, today's
Yes.
the 3rd. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
today's the 3rd. But we're in April, so next month will be a 5. Right? Then
No,
May.
it'll be the fifth position month, but it's ruled by the
Yeah.
number 6. Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The 5th position month.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So I always try to use the numbers on the card as timing to let people know how much time they may have to until things, come forward. But if you do them now, if you start working on them now, then that reassures you. And then that's another thing about time. We have to really learn how to manage our time, because May sounds like far away and next year sounds like far away. But guess what? We're in the middle of the year now, technically. We're going into the middle of
this
the
year
year.
is like, I mean, we're in the 4th month already.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes. So I really would like to thank everybody that's sharing this time and space with me. This has probably been the best show for me personally, because I think this is the first time I've been here and I didn't want to throw up as I was speaking. So I really appreciate everybody here, and I hope that they will trust me to help them transform, and for me to guide them in their journey, because that's what I want to do with my life. And
the phone number at the bottom of the screen on the ticker is how people can call you to talk to you or schedule appointments and whatnot.
Yes. Usually, so what I do is usually have some type of consultation in the beginning to make sure that I can provide them with the guidance.
Makes sense.
Provide them with the guidance that I have something on my face. Okay. Provide them with the
you are
guidance
in front of the camera, so
yeah. To provide them, make sure I can provide them with the services that they need. And if I can't provide them with anything, I always like to refer them to people that I know within my community, that may be able to help them. And I also like to give great recommendations, like, herbal recommendations, crystal recommendations, chakra healing recommendations, things like that. And I really like to transform my clients. I always do follow-ups, and I really try to stay in contact. I'm really trying to create a very, very personal experience, because I think that's what's missing in the space now, is that, we've just become disconnected. So I'm really trying to get all up in everybody's business, and, enough for them, but for them to feel relaxed, and for just me to help them and to understand that I'm human as well. And I went through a lot of different things that I would like to share with people, to let them know that, they're not alone, and we all, go through things, and we all have to transform. And, sometimes we just need a little help. So that's what I'm here for, and they can contact me.
I know I haven't seen you in a minute. Okay.
It's been a while.
And when I saw you last, that little guy, Kwame, had you just as busy as he does now, even more so.
Yes.
I like how you respond as a mother to a child, a son. And it's real nice. You just real cool. The energy, and you even bob different too.
Thank you.
So sometimes those transformations of just laying back a bit and coming back does a lot,
That's
but everybody at the bottom of the screen, you call Cali. And she is a spiritual advisor, manifestation magic. Now she's got a whole lot of goodies. She just wanted to express some of her experiences and what she's been through since we haven't seen her in a while. We now see that Kwame is growing up and stuff. And so to contact her, do dial 626 421 8470. That's 626 421 8470. And later for Cali, we want y'all to send something to Kwame, okay? Send a Zelle there to that brother, that little man there. Because Pisces is a psychic anyway. So send a Zelle to 626 421 8470. And I was jokingly saying about Cali, because Cali is responsible for him. And you can see she's doing a damn good job. Oops. She's doing a real good job. Okay. Live radio, TV. Anyway, she's doing a very, very good job. Bless her soul. And Cali, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna end with a couple of things I have to announce. And I'm going to be calling you later on this week, and I'm going to be having you back when the weather breaks nicely and stuff like that. You'll be ready. All right.
Great. Thank you. I will be here. I'll be ready.
Good. And where's Kwame, so we can all say goodnight to that buddy?
Okay, so right now he's on mic and lights. I think he's trying to adjust it for the next show. So he's switched positions.
That is your producer. I got it. Yes, I feel you. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thank
Cali.
you.
And it'll be good. And I'll be having you back real soon, much sooner than later. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
It's been about a year and a half or something, almost 2 years. I'm saying
it's been, yeah.
saying
Yes.
like, what's up with that? All right.
Yeah.
So it
Yes.
just shows you how the powers that be brought us back together again. So it just shows you how it works. All right.
That's right. Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. What I'm going to do just before I sign off is I'm just going to run over some of these birthdays right quick. I ain't going to go into readings, but I'm just going to tell you what your key numbers are. Like Alchemy Empress, she jumped on here before 7 o'clock. She's a Capricorn. She's going to be going through a 6 personal year, making adjustments and things like that. Her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 8. And then we have Beverly Jackson. Thank you so much, Beverly. She's born January the 22nd. So she is in definitely in the sign of Aquarius. And so not only that, but she is in a uh, 4 personal year that matches her birthday. And this year favors Capricorns and Aquarians anyway. So this should be a very good year for you, especially to think outside the box with your numbers, Beverly, are the 4, 1, and 5. Okay, so let's see. Um, Let me see. I just want to make sure I catch. Oh, this is Deborah. Deborah Lucas Jackson. She is a Taurus 2 person. So she's earth and water, which is great. Her key numbers are the 2, the 7, and the 6. She's born at 2:09 p.m., which means your sun was in the eighth house, the sign of Scorpio. That's where your sun is. So that means very philosophical and things like that. You need a hug twice a day too. Also, this is Darius Sturdivant, who is and happy belated Darius rather. He is born on March the 1st. Well, my brother, let me tell you this: you happen to be in a 3 personal year and 3 rules of sign of Pisces originally until they reassigned it to Neptune, but it was ruled by Jupiter. And your sun, since it's in the fourth house, is sitting. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're sitting in the eighth, probably on the borderline of the eighth and the seventh house. That's where your sun is. So somewhere between Scorpio and Libra. Anyway, though, this is your year to expand, to grow. Your lucky numbers are the 1, 4, and 3. And my heart, I got, listen, love and greetings go to Yana B. Woodhouse. Dr. Woodhouse is great. I'm very partial to the woman. There's a couple of women I'm very partial to, if you've noticed, too. But this one I'm really, really partial to. You'll call her Dr. Woodhouse. I affectionately call it Yana. Okay, we got it like that. She is a Cancer 3 person, born July the 30th. And so this is a year for her to bring a lot of her things to fruition. My brother Steve Williams and Carolyn out in Chicago, they're both water signs, and these are all very nice people. I'm just saying, Alchemy, I got you. I hope you heard it. I hope you stayed to the end to catch that, although you jumped on early. This is Empress Speak. She is December the 26th. So she's a Capricorn and an 8. So this is a double dewy year for you, in the sense that the 8 rules the sign of Capricorn and Aquarius, or anybody born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th. So since you come under both and you're in an 8 personal year, that makes it, hold up. No, you're in a 1 personal year. Oh, but I see her life path. Yes. And she was born in the morning. So that means her son is probably somewhere around in the 5th house, somewhere just before you get to there. Alrighty. So, and thanks, Alchemy, for congratulating Melanated Brown. Melanated Brown is always at the top of the show. She's always in first position, and bless her for that. Let's see, Andre. What is his thing? He says, you told me these numbers 6, 5, and 9. My question is, what does it mean? Well, it means simply this: each number rules a day. 6 rules Friday, 5 rules Wednesday, 9 rules Tuesday. Those are your best days. They also rule months, in your case, April, May, and June, followed by September, October, and November. And that's what it means. And you see, you're born on the 15th. 1 plus 5 is 6. And you happen to be in a 5 personal year also. So that means you have a couple of things going for you this year. And it's always about bringing some meaningful changes. And I have to agree with Stephen and Empress about the algorithms. Please hit the like button. I always forget those things. I always forget to tell you to like, share, and subscribe to you. Think after all this time, I get it. I'm working on that. Okay. I will do that. And this is Mastering Healing at Home. And by the way, all of you who are all of the viewerships who have gifts like Cali and other people I've had, many of the people I've had on the show, I've actually seen them on an Instagram or something like that. And I wanted to invite them on. The reason why I do it is very simple, is that I got on a show, and on this show, I interviewed the host's mother. She was so impressed. She says, his name was Felipe, and she says, you got to go and see if he can get a show. Do you know that boy listened to his mother? And that changed my life. So it was Pablo Guzman. Pablo Guzman from WBLS, WLIB Radio. His mother called in. I never forgot. And I was so nervous. And about a couple of weeks later, they called me and asked me, would I like to have a show? And that changed my life, changed my career. So I wanted to pass that on. So if somebody wants to get on, I don't take you through no changes, running through your degrees and background, all that stuff. If you're really sincere about reaching and helping my viewers to raise their consciousness and the Live with Lloyd family, then you're more than welcome. So um, this goes for anybody out here. All right. Um, Darius says 79 of us go hit the like button. Please hit the like button so I don't have to hear from my moderator. Andre Watt, my wife came in as Jessica and asked if you could read her. She is October the 28th. She is a Scorpio 1 person, so her numbers are the 149, and Sundays and Tuesdays are always her best days. And this is her year to go for self. She's in a 1 personal year. So, and it's interesting. She's born on the 10th, which is a 1. She's born on the 28th, which adds to 10, which is a 1. And she's born in 1981, that adds to 19, which is 10, which is 1. So my man, Andre, your wife got 111 across the board. So I would encourage her to reach the highest point that she can. And if she at times would appear to be dominant or forceful, that's the nature of a 1. She has to be as true to herself as you have to be true to yourself, and others have to be true to themselves. And so I would encourage her. I'd get behind her and push her as high as she possibly can go. And then that way she can take you to Disney World. Anyway, this is Maya at October 13th. She's a 415. So that means she's air and air, which means she's always into her head that she would like to be. Yes, you could do well in real estate because Libra and Tauruses are the signs that govern Venus, which is property and real estate. But since you're born on the 13th, that means your style would be totally, totally different. You can't do it like everybody else does it. I'm telling you, you got to think outside the box. That's the nature of it. And let me see who else. This is Roman Septo 99. So that means you're Virgo 9 person. So your numbers are the 9, 5, and 6, and Tuesdays followed by Fridays and whatnot are your best days. And you're in an 8 personal year, which is a year to power up and do some things on a big scale. And to this lady, I've got to thank her very, very much. This is my moderator on Wednesday, Empress Rel. She's just great. Okay. Uh, Robin Gant. Thanks, Robin. She's an Aquarius 4 person, likes to be different. So you're in a life-changing year. You're at the midway point in your 9-year cycle. So this is a year to turn your life around. Your numbers are the 4, the 1, and the 5, no question. And you're born at 6. So that means your sun is in the first, second, third house. Your sun is in the third house, the house of Gemini. Okay. So that means you kind of have a lively personality. One day I'll have to show you how I'm arriving at these things. And it was by one of my students, believe it or not, that gave me a clue that changed everything about, how I see things. And I'll maybe share it with you with this. Okay, so I'm just trying to go and see if there's anybody I may have left out. Miss Wright, thanks again for the donation. And Shauna, thank you also too. Let's see. And I'll be off this in a minute because I do want to let you know. And one of my favorite ladies, Sister Maya, who is September the 13th. And she is here like clockwork, like the Williams, melanated brown. And I always try to give this beautiful lady her props. And I'm partial to Virgos anyway, maybe because my mother was a Virgo. Who knows? And Oracle T, my girl, June the 11th. She is, I tell you, I'm in great company. Y'all think I have a great show? No, I have great people. This is Okay, this is unique, Alexis. Oh, yeah, and okay, I thought so. I thought so. August 24th. So, the name of the lady producer almost came to my mind in a moment, but she's the one that put out all these documentaries for HBO and stuff like that. And one was called 13. How the 13th Amendment was used to justify moving us from one way of incarceration to another way of incarceration. So that's it. And Armand uh, Adeli. They're born on, wow, look at all those nines. He's born June the 29th, 1999, with a nine life path, having a nine as one. And nine is certainly one of your stress numbers. But, it's not like you can't run from it. But he said he noticed in 2016, which was a 9 year, which was really good for him. That's because you were in an 8 personal year that year. So normally that represents things that are happening. Maybe all these nines in the birthday helps me. Well, it all depends on your attitude. And I wish I had more time to explain, but I tell you this, your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. And your best days are always on Mondays and Fridays. Let there be no question. Okay. And Melanated Brown, you are absolutely awesome. And yes, Cali is an awesome, awesome individual. And I love how she treats her son. You know what I'm saying? That is a good lesson for mothers. Mothers get short because children can't help themselves. They got a lot of energy. They don't know about sitting still like adults. You saw Kwame, he's 2, 3 years old. That young man ain't no adult there. I wouldn't expect him to sit there. He's all over the place trying to help his mother set up the props, the lights. He turned it off for a half a second, got that straight. But Izar is born on August the 15th. Their key numbers are the 6, 2, and 7. And this year for them is a year where they lay the cornerstone of the foundation to some things. Denise Moody is September the 15th. And so 6 rules a sign of Taurus. So I expect you, Denise, to be very beautiful in some way. And the fact that Denise tells me one of your parents was either a Gemini or Virgo or born on the 5th, 14th, or 23rd. And it tells me from the sign and the birthday, you've always been attractive. You've never had a problem attracting the opposite sex too, which is none of my business. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go only read a couple more. Then I got to sign off. Misinformed Nation, they were born January the 5th, so they're in a 5 personal year. Do your husband, it's interesting. Both you and your husband have 5 as a common denominator. Both you and your husband are both cardinal signs. Capricorn is a cardinal sign for winter. April, is a cardinal sign for spring. So in that way, I can see that you do have 2 numbers you'll share in common because your numbers are the 5, 6, and 8. His numbers are the 5, 9, and 6. So that means y'all may have married around May or June, September or October, on a date that added up to the 5th or the 6th, the 14th, the 15th, the 23rd, 24th of the month, or in a year that added up to a 5, or a year that added up to a 6. But anyway, those are your numbers, and thank you very, very much for that. All right, okay, I'm getting to the bottom, and I want to thank everybody very, very much. Oh, and Mercedes, this is my girl here too. All right. Mercedes Ayala. All righty. She's born September the 29th. I'm putting all her business in the street, but these are all the people that have supported me from day one. Antonia Thomas is born the same day as Stevie Wonder and a couple other famous people of note, Franklin Ajay, um, Joe Louis, the famous boxing champion, a couple other people. But anyway, she likes to think different. She always attracts odd and unusual relationships, and her numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. So I'm going to have to run in a minute. Before I do, uh, Tabitha, 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 thank you so much for the donation. I don't see your birthday, dear. Okay. And Brandon, thanks for the $2 donation. He's born on November the 1st. So this is your year where you're in a transitional period to make some changes in your life. Your numbers are the 1, 4, and 9, which means you don't take orders well at all. And in fact, this person here, coffee and cannabis, they don't take orders well either. But notice the 8s that are running through the birthday. They've got 8 and 2 9s running through the birthday. So that tells me these are very old souls. So therefore, if they've been involved with relationships much older than themselves or hung around with the elders when they were coming up, that makes sense. This person is born the same day as artist Romeo, Black artist, African-American artist Romeo Bearden. September the 2nd. Their numbers are the 2, 7, and 5. And this is a year for them to actually learn how to stand on their own 2 feet, believe it or not. There's Tabitha, June the 14th. So that means your numbers are the 5, 6, and 9, and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and whatnot are your best days. Okay. All righty. So I'm going to have to take a pause here. I'm going to do one more thing here. Let's see. Um, this is interesting. Are there any exceptional loopholes to your lucky numbers? Yeah, there are always exceptions to the rule. The only exception is death and taxes. There are no exceptions. You get to those parts, that's it. That's a wrap. No exceptions. They purchased land in a city that I know is not compatible. It all depends on what the location is and the house number. And I think this number popped up. Somebody's birthday popped up like this. It's a 149. So that whatever you purchase, okay, you purchase the land, but when you build the structure, the home, the building, and whatnot, try to make sure the address adds up to a 1 or a 4 or 9, and definitely aim to build it and move that construction forward in the months of February, April, August, and November. Those months will work better for you. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, and I see they were talking about their name comparing with the app. It all depends on how you do your name. See, on my app, a star 8, you can either put your full name, or you can put your first name, or you can put your name that you're most known by, with a pet name, something of that nature, and see how that works. All right. But now I see where you're coming from. But the purchase of land in the city, don't know whether it's compatible with me. Yeah. Do that. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm going to have to go for a second, but let me tell you, my sponsors, and this is Pretty Fly. Thank you very much. February the 3rd, which means they are a natural flirt, and they don't look their age, which is why not only will you attract younger men, but men from different cultures as well too, if you gave them an opportunity. And this year is a year to lay the foundation and the cornerstone to what you're doing. And your key numbers are the 3, 4, and 1. All righty, everybody. I've got to, okay, this person made a donation, wanted to make sure, give him a props on November 5th. So you're in a 6-person year to fall in love, fall out of love. That I can tell you, all depending on how things are going on in your life. Your numbers are the 5, 6, and 9. And you see I'm doing some speed dialing, and that's it. Okay, I'm going to do, this is my last one, which is Robin England. All right, December the 6th. And so you're in an 8-person year this year. So you're in a very important year. And your son happens to be in the 10th house, the house of career. So that means you almost have no excuse not to take yourself to the highest level possible. But I do need to thank my sponsors very much. Here we go. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my sponsors. Jazz Aphrodite. She will be a guest on my show. The books are here. She texted me and said the books are here. So I can't wait to get my hands on my book. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm real selfish when it comes to books. I read books all day long. I love reading. And knowledge is power too. So she is the sponsor of the show. I want to thank her. Also want to thank King Simon, who will be on the show on April the 10th. He will have a few of these guests. He won't have all of them on, but he will have a few of them. This is the first set to be on Saturday. I will be with the next set of guests on Sunday, April 14th. So April 13th and 14th is going to be rocking in the house at Nicholas, Brooklyn at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York City. And also thank Miss Kimberly with Manifest on Purpose. I do want to let you know today is the last day my class is on sale. So please take advantage of it. That's the only time I advertise. Let me tell you, I would love to advertise it at the full retail. I would rather have people save money, but gain the knowledge. See, when you gain the knowledge, they can't take that away from you. They can take your money, but you can always build again. All right. So that is always my goal and objective. Please sign up for the free monthly newsletter. And it is different this time around because the way when you receive it in the email, there are zodiac signs that gets past Scorpio, like Sagittarius, Capricorn, and whatnot, can't see it. But if you notice at the top right, it says view in browser. And if you view in the browser, you can see all of the zodiac signs And this is now an addition that I've added. So at each of the signs, okay, this is a sign I took out of the 12. And as you see, I always end on your favorable and challenging days. But now you see I've included a link where you can hear the entire episode that I did on Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly, and also the timestamp. So if you don't want to hear everything, just go to the timestamp and hear your respective sign. That is a feature. And if you go to YouTube, you'll see April 24th numerology forecast by the zodiac sign, where you can listen to it in its entirety. It's a lot. It's quite a bit. So everybody, I want to thank you. Oh, one more thing. People have been writing into me serious about learning this as a career. I am very serious in honestly teaching it. It's not like my zodiac classes or my Live with Lloyd series classes. It's not like the course I teach on TikTok, because I'm on TikTok too. But this is going to really teach you. Yes, you're going to have to learn some of the basics, but it's also going to have to. So for those of you who would like to follow this path, I had no one to guide me. I searched and searched. Fortunately, I lived in a city like New York where everything was available, including books, and that is what helped me a lot. Well, I will teach you everything I know. And for those of you who are interested in taking my workshop over the summer of Numbers You and Beyond workshop, learning the art of numerology as a career, please write to a star 8 llc@gmail.com. And I said at the bottom, a star 8, ASTAR 8 LLC@gmail.com. And of course, for those of you, please pick up my app, a star 8. As my kids said, it's like, they said, like having daddy in your pocket, but it's like having Lloyd in your pocket. Okay. So I understand where they're coming from. But anyway, I want to thank everybody very, very much for this. All have a great weekend. Monday will be the eclipse. I'm going to be talking about that in much more detail too. And everybody, I want to thank you. And I definitely want to thank my very special guest, Cali, and of course, her little man, Kwame. They are the best. All right. All of you have a blessed, blessed day. Please take good care of yourself. Because again, if you don't, the question is, who will? Bye. Hold on. Let me see something. Oh, here we go. I know what it is. Now I can say bye.